What's periodization when it comes to training? We find out today. Okay guys, what's up? Team Natty here. I'm actually gonna be, there's not a lot of room in this office. I'm trying to light it. I really got a candle below me, so if it's flickery, I'm sorry. It kind of sets the mood a little. Do you like this background? Taylor did it for me. So periodization is something you're probably already doing in your training regimen, and it's basically a cycle of something, and that is how they categorize them. And so you have quadrennial, which is like a year-long cycle or a multi-year cycle. That could be like the next 4 years. This is your cycle. This is what you're doing. Then you have a macro cycle, and that could just be like 1 year. And then there's a mesocycle, which is what most of us usually do, and what I've been doing really and not even knowing it. And that's like 4 to 6 weeks of a training cycle. There's a microcycle, and that's like a 7-week. That's like a very short cycle or phase. And so the way you set these things up, and the reason that people do them is to keep from overtraining a certain thing, or to keep from your body just getting mentally and physically fatigued from one lift. It gives your body a rest, and what it also does is it creates muscle confusion. And so periodization is something we all typically do, but sometimes we're not as good about it as we should be. Now, the reason I'm talking about this today is because I've been doing squats and deadlifts like constantly, like every week for so long, and sometimes I'll take a couple weeks off, but not nearly as many as I've been reading up on. I've been doing some reading on studies that the University of New Mexico has done, and other powerlifters and even powerlifting coaches for countries have done. And typically, I mean, like when you play a sport, say like you're a pitcher in baseball, you pitch for so many months out of the year, but you have to take a rest, like out of those other months, like your off season. Or like if you're a soccer player, you might go to the gym in the off season and work out, but you gotta rest. Like you can't just be playing 90-minute games like, all year, because it's gonna take a toll on your body. And so I've been deadlifting and squatting so much, and I just feel like mentally fatigued from it. My joints are achy. I don't seem to be getting anywhere. Like I don't seem to, like my weight's not changing. I'm physically fatigued, like I said about the joints. And so I'm just sitting here wondering, like, what can I do to make my squat better without squatting? And so I did some research, and it was about this periodization thing that, I'm basically already doing, just not to a T yet, that I've just done in my workout cycle, but I've always still kept squats and deadlifts in there. And this one was actually more focused on just the big 3 lifts and just cycling those out. But, you look at it as a sport, so you do it for like 8 to 12 weeks, but then you take 8 weeks off. So so basically a mesocycle, as explained before. And this is to help encourage muscle growth, muscle confusion with the new lifts I'll be doing. That's going to be trying to work out the same muscles, but just not in the same way. You know what I mean? Like step ups instead of squats, or instead of deadlifts or Romanian deadlifts, leg curls or good morning, stuff like that. Just odd lifts. Or instead of bench press, like incline bench press a lot more, and a lot more dumbbell bench press or dumbbell press. So it's stuff like that. Just trying to get away from the constant grind and what it's been doing to me, and trying to get better with some things. So That's kind of where I'm at right now, and I thought I'd tell you guys about that so you know. And if you're hearing noises in the background, it's Taylor's little guinea pig and gerbils. They're kind of noisy, so. These studies that New Mexico University did does show that periodization, like in their study groups, the ones with periodization did better, and by doing better in the study, I mean like produce stronger lifts. But that also has to do with the fact that when replacing the other lifts, they were doing a higher volume, lower intensity of different lifts. So in turn, they were getting a lot more training than just the single set group. And then there's other people like powerlifters who, and they'll say like they only pull like 600 pounds or something, like, you know, they're really like heavy, huge deadlifts, like maybe 6 times a year at the most. And then another study was saying that it takes around 30, give or take 5 days, 30 days, give or take five, to really start seeing a diminishment in your strength. So you could really just like do your strength movements like once a month or so, and you're not really having to, like, as a natural lifter anyway, you're not really having to like destroy your body all the time. Like I'm trying to, like, whenever I deadlift, I want to go as heavy as I can every single time. So it's like week in and week out, I'm trying to grind out like a PR, and it's not getting me anywhere. And really, I should just be doing like a 60 to 70% of my 1 rep max with more reps and getting that lower intensity, higher volume in for hypertrophy. But the the whole periodization thing is something I'm looking into to see if I can get better at, the big three lifts without actually doing them, and just, taking some time off, because it's really just wear and tear on my mind. I just want to let you guys know what I've stumbled upon, and maybe you knew about it, maybe you didn't even know about it, what you were actually doing, and or why you were doing it. But that's what it is periodization, and doing their little cycles and phases. So just a quick tidbit of information. I hope this helps you guys if you're ever wondering, and that's just what's in the agenda for my training right now. So I'm taking some time off, couple weeks, and I might still do a deadlift or squat every once in a while, but it's going to be like, once in a while, and not just once or twice every single week, which was really bogging me down and making it so I just didn't even want to do it. So that's what's on my mind today. I thought I'd let you know. Yeah, and if you guys have any questions or any concerns, or if you've experimented with this before, let me know down in the comments below. And also let me know how you like the candlelight and how that affects the mood. Bow, chicka, wow, wow. In the comments below. You guys take it easy, stay natty, Team Natty out.